Right, hello there guys, welcome back to the Steam Room. Part 5 of our F1 Career Mode Championship is just about to get underway. So, some changes have been made to the way the races are working now. We're doing the 3-stage qualifying now to get more research points. We're really trying to build those up now because we really want to start getting some upgrades done on the car. So, qualifying 2, we only managed to get through to. P12 is where we ended up, unfortunately. But I'm getting through to Q3 there. I don't actually know what the final qualifying results were. For some reason the game doesn't tell you, which is a bit of a pain, and is something that could be addressed in a patch. Cody's, if you're listening. So basically we came from Sochi in, where did we finish? I think P12, I think it was. No points. Pretty abysmal race, really, racing wise. You know, nothing happened. But we know, well, I know that Catalonia is a really good track for me. So this is really sort of all or nothing now at this race. This is really where we're going to turn it around for the team. You know, we had that good race in China where we managed to get some points. I said there something had clicked. This Grand Prix is our time to prove if that has clicked fully, and if that is going to stay with us now for the rest of the season. So we're having a look now at the research upgrade, sorry. So our chassis weight one came through. You'll see how that pans out. But we're going to the grid now for the, not the Catalonian, the Spanish Grand Prix. So you join us now again on the grid. Now remember what I said, I think it was in China or Bahrain, about the personalised and projected tyre management. Projected there wanted us to do a 2-stopper. Personalised, I've managed to get that down to a 1-stop. Both starting on the softs, both ending on the mediums. Hard, sorry. So obviously, if you look at the race time thing in the like sort of the left hand of the column, that the race time for the 1-stop was so much shorter than the 2-stop it projected me. So obviously I'm going to go for that. So obviously we've started on the softs. Obviously we're going to go on to the hards at some point in the race. But join us now for the formation lap. We're slowly starting to weave the car, build up some heat in the tyres, sorry. But yeah, so obviously dry weather, yeah, that's predicted for the whole race. So this is really the most likely race, I would say, for this whole season, apart from maybe Austria, maybe Canada, weather permitting, maybe Brazil, weather permitting as well. Brazil is a track I am very, very pleased with in just how my performance. I think I actually ended up beating the lap record there in, I want to say F1 2011, or it might have been 2013. But either way, tweeting that got me a follow from Red Bull Racing there, so that was pretty interesting on my personal Twitter account. So yeah, we're coming through now, still building up some heat in the tyres. Also, now I'm going to announce this now. I am going to be signing up for, this doesn't mean I'm going to get into, but I'm going to be signing up for the AOR F1 PC League this season. Now obviously if I do get in, that will absolutely be going up on the channel. I think it would be great for content, I think it would be great for exposure, I think it would be great for Scott and myself. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that all goes very well for us. But now we're going to cut to the grid. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and away we go at Catalonia. Rocket off the grid there. We've got Verstappen ahead of us. We are very, very slowly starting to inkle past him. We managed to get that move done. We look around the inside of Jenson Button there, our teammate up ahead. We managed to dive him into turn 1. We've got Roman Grosjean there in the Haas. going to go around the outside, maybe. Nope, he's actually managed to get ahead of Perez. So we're going to have a look now. We're going to just tuck in behind Perez. We're going to have a look at the exit of this corner now, going up the inside of both Grosjean and Perez there. And then we make a dive on Valtteri Bottas as well into turn 3 or 4, one of the other. But we've gone from, what, P12 to P7, 4 corners. That is pretty good racing, I'm not going to lie to you all. But we've got Felipe Massa ahead of us now in the Williams. We're sort of cutting across the track here. We're going to have a look down the inside of him. We managed to get that move done, so that's P6 for us now. We've got Sebastian Vettel and the Ferrari ahead of us as we come down onto this nice long back straight. This will be sort of something to keep an eye out for in 3 laps time when the DRS gets activated. But we have a huge dive down into this hairpin now. We've managed to really close the gap to Sebastian there, just under braking. So we're probably going to have a look at him in the next few corners. Maybe this tight chicane that brings you out onto the last corner. I think that might be the one. We managed to slightly lose the back end there. That corner really hard to keep the traction out of. Oh, and what did I say? I said we'd do the dive down into the chicane. We managed to get P5 now. Sebastian Vettel. So we've been tagged. And we've spun. It's all gone horribly wrong. We're down in P8. And there's a safety car. So... well, I actually am quite pleased with this, you know. China, I moaned about it. I was like, oh, I haven't had a safety car yet. I want a safety car. Sochi, we got a virtual one. Spain, we got a real one, which is awesome. So, yes, we're just sort of sat behind Valtteri Bottas now. I can't believe we got tagged by Vettel in that chicane. That was infuriating. So bloody gutting that happened. I couldn't believe it. You know, we'd made such good progress through that first lap. It was almost unbelievable. But in effect, having this safety car has given us a fresh restart actually. So obviously the pack will bunch up as we come to the end of it, which will be really good. You know, we can get some overtakes in. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so hopefully we can manage to make up all of those places that we lost to Sebastian. Now I believe the safety car was caused not in fact by us, but by someone spinning out under the yellows or having a huge crash under the yellows further back in the field. We're yet to figure out who that was. No one has retired, but we've been told now to prepare to resume the racing. The yellow flags are out, safety car is in, and it's green flags. We're going back to the racing now. So we managed to slightly lose the back end there going into the last corner. We used all of the runoff available. But we've got Roman Grosjean there behind us. You can see him with the little proximity arrows, and maybe if you're looking in the mirrors, he's had a look down our inside, but he's managed to tuck back inside us. Don't think he had the power there to get the move done. But we throw the car into turn 1, into turn 2. Really do love the first sector of this track. Actually, well, I'd say the first sector. To be honest, this is probably one of my favourite racetracks. You know, the corners of it are just such... They're challenging but fun. And that's what I like. And I know that sounds ridiculous and pompous, like I actually know what I'm talking about. But throwing the car around on this track is really good fun. But we managed to close the gap to Bottas now. We're doing that same move up the inside of him as we did on Felipe Massa there on the first lap. We managed to get that move done again. Now we've got old Seb Vettel behind us, or in front of us even. Goodness gracious me, Nick, what are you talking about? Now DRS hasn't been activated yet because obviously those 3 or 4 laps that the safety car was out, you know, sort of override the whole thing. We've got 3 more laps, or 2 more laps, sorry, of racing before the DRS actually does get activated. I think it does come into play at the end of this lap. So obviously we're going to want to be closing the gap to Vettel, you know, sort of just trying to keep Bottas behind us because obviously we know the Williams outpaces, we know the Ferrari outpaces. We are surrounded by faster cars now. You know, obviously we shouldn't be here, we're in a McLaren. You know, like you can sort of argue research and development all you want, but fact of the matter is where McLaren are right now, we shouldn't be here. We are very lucky to be here. We need to really sort of use this to our advantage. But yes, we've managed to close the gap even more up to Vettel now. We're having a look around the outside. Turns out it was so easy to close the gap up to him because he has medium tyres, we have soft. So obviously we have the tyre advantage. We're going to have a lot more grip going into and coming out of the corners now. But yes, we're really sticking up his gearbox now. So we're just trying to keep him as closely within range as we can to pull off a move like that. A very brave little dive bomb there into the hairpin there, just coming out of sector 1. Now as we come up to the hill to that blind right-hander, but we cut anyway. we was going to have some exciting racing there. But we cut to lap 7 now. We've got Daniel Ricciardo in front of us. We're in P4 now. A lot of cars have been pitting in for the, I think it was a mediums a lot of cars were coming in for at this point. So we managed to jump a few cars in the pits. We managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo, and we are in P3 now. So we're on course for a podium now. I know this happened in, I want to say Bahrain or China. We effectively led the race for a bit. No, it was Australia, wasn't it? We effectively led the race for a bit, but that was only due to pit stops and stuff. But you know, like I had a really good feeling about this race. You know, the one-stop strategy we're doing. You know, I really feel like we could have twisted this to our advantage as we go past someone in the pits there up into P2. So, you know, we could well come at this with a podium, guys. Like, I was really sort of like getting hyped about this. You know, obviously a McLaren on the podium hasn't been seen in years, literally, since I think 2013 maybe, or even earlier than that probably. But right, so we've come to the end of lap 10 now, or we're coming to the end of lap 10, sorry. We've got the tyre wear display up there, really starting to wear these softs thin now. So we've told the pit crew that we're coming in. This lap was our scheduled stop anyway. I think the pit window did open up this lap anyway. So they are expecting us. We just wanted to confirm that to the team, so hopefully we can get a bit of a faster stop. So we're coming in for the hards now. So these will take us all the way to the end of the race. So it is going to be a case of managing the tyre wear. But, you know, obviously we wouldn't have been given this strategy if the team didn't think it could be done. And, you know, we've said before how tyre wear is one of our strong points. You know, like sort of with the tyre management programs we're running in practice and the strategies we're being offered in the race, you know, clearly tyre wear is something we've got going for us. So I think that's what we're going to have to be using to make up places and all of this in the races. You know, so we're going to have to sort of watch what tyre we qualify on as well. I think if we ever get through to Q3, I think we'll just qualify on softs or whatever, depending on the track. We'll probably qualify on the medium tyre. But we cut to the end of lap 11, or the middle, sorry, of lap 11. We've got Sergio Perez in the Force India ahead of us. Daniel Ricciardo still behind us in the Red Bull. Ricciardo on the softs, Perez on the medium. So we're hopefully going to fly past Perez regardless of tyres, because we have the power over the Force Indias now, hopefully. I think that was something that the car comparison chart said. But either way now, we've got Kimi Räikkönen ahead of us now. We managed to jump him. No, we didn't. He's managed to jump Hülkenberg, sorry. Oh, excuse me. So we're sat behind Nico Hülkenberg now. It's coming around towards the end of lap 12. Really sort of just trying to put him under pressure now, trying to sort of force a mistake, because, you know, we need these places. You know, at one point we was in P2. We don't really want to be sat in P8, P7 now, as we get past Hülkenberg. But, you know, this race, like I keep saying throughout the race, is definitely the one where we are going to finish the best that we will finish for a while, as we jump another car and go up into 5th place. We are slowly getting those places back now. You know, this is happening. We are strategically moving up the field just by jumping cars in the pits. Because obviously we're not going to catch up to a Mercedes, we're not going to catch up to a Ferrari to overtake them. But we say that, we're up into P2 now, so we've jumped more cars in the pits. We've got DRS on lap 18 at the start of it. We've got Kevin Magnussen in front of us in a Renault, sorry. Now, you might have seen there from that brief glimpse in the rearview camera, Sebastian Vettel is absolutely gunning for us. So we've wanted to jump as far ahead of Magnussen as we can in hopes of slowing Vettel up, sorry. You know, obviously with Magnussen being given the blue flag, so we're trying to, you know, get through turn 1, turn 2, but also keep his position and speed. You know, he doesn't really want to sacrifice those just to let Vettel through. Regardless, it didn't work. So Vettel's now gunning down us again. But we cut now to the end of lap 19, so sort of a lot of laps where we're sort of just starting to fade through, you know, sort of not much is really happening at this point. We're midway through the race. Now, I don't know if you heard that, Rosberg is in the pits. So for the first time, this season, we have taken the lead of a Grand Prix. We've got Verstappen now effectively behind us, as Rosberg is still in the pits. There we go, Verstappen jumps Rosberg coming out of the pits. And we have got a stonkingly big gap. I think it was at least 5 seconds at this point from Verstappen. So, you know, obviously at this point we're sort of, you know, the heart's going. We're sort of starting to sweat a bit. Oh my God, we're in the lead of a race. But as we cut now to the end of lap 22, you know, what's that gap? 7.9 seconds to Verstappen. So this gap is getting bigger every lap. You know, the clean air is really doing this car good. We cut now to the end of lap 22. What's the gap now? 7.1. So now the gap's starting to slow down. You know, obviously his hard tyres fresher than ours. You know, we've had to drop down the fuel mix to save fuel towards the end of the race because we are going to need it. What's that gap now? 8.3 seconds. So we are back again doing up Verstappen, but we cut now to the middle half of lap 27. And we've just heard over the radio that Rosberg is behind us now. So sort of me just zen and focus on the track and trying not to horribly crash off and, you know, being a fireball in the wall somewhere. Rosberg and Hamilton have managed to get past Verstappen. Rosberg on the mediums as well, so he's got the tyre advantage on us. You know, this is where it's all going to go wrong, guys. You know, this is quite possibly the worst case scenario for us. You know, we've got two Mercedes behind us. We're in a McLaren, bless our little hearts. We've got to try and defend from these guys for, what, 6 laps now. Come round the last corner now. We know Rosberg is out of DRS range, so that isn't a problem for us. He's 1.1 seconds behind us, so that's good. So we're going to try and sort of stretch out this gap. We've got 1.47 laps of fuel in the car, so we are going to dump it into rich mode now. Just keep trying to build that gap through the corners, you know. Are late on the brakes, sort of quick on the throttle attitude out and in of these corners really is what's going to help us, if anything. And we cut to the end of lap 29 now. Rosberg managed to get in DRS range. He goes absolutely herring by. We just get out of the way. There's no point fighting it. You know, it gives us a chance to tuck in behind him, get some nice slipstream and sort of watch where he's going to make a mistake through these corners. So we're sort of getting closer and closer, but then something, I don't know what happened to the Mercedes there. I think it turned on its warp drive or something, but it just shot off. Now I don't know how that happened, but it was rather quite annoying, to be honest. But we're still chasing Rosberg now. We take a really brave, bloody move there. My word, you know, sort of locking up the brakes and everything. Still in rich fuel mode, mix 3. Tyre wear is starting to come into it now as well. You know, we've been on these for about 15 laps now, I think. Not good. So we are really going to, you know, saying that, we sort of run a bit wide there into that blind right-hander coming up the hill. Got Rosberg ahead again behind us, sorry, coming up on us with the DRS. We basically cut that corner there. Now, I know that's not good racing, and I do apologise for that. But I desperately wanted this win. And as far as I'm concerned with this, you know, we're running with the normal penalties. You know, not strict, not off, normal penalties. So as far as I'm concerned, if we don't get issued a penalty or a warning, then it's fair game. So we're still in P1 at this point in the race. We come round to start lap 30 now. So these 50% races really starting to prove a lot more exciting and sort of eventful than the 25%ers. As Rosberg gets back past us, managed to make another dive up into turn 1 on the race leader Rosberg, albeit race leader for about 0.2 of a second, but we managed to get past him. We're sort of starting to slip and slide about the place now. Tyre wear really not doing us any good there at all. But we come round out of sector 1 now. We've got both Mercedes breathing down our bloody necks. We're just trying to stay calm, you know, not spin out, you know, hit all the apexes, which we didn't there. You know, get good acceleration out of the corners, nice late braking into the corners, you know, but still managing to make the corner. But, you know, we know we're not going to be able to match up to that Mercedes pace, that power, you know, any of it. We know at some point or another they will probably get past us. You know, there's not much you can do, aside from doing what Verstappen did to Raikkonen at the top of Eau Rouge in Spa this year and just weave all over the bloody track. You know, that's all we can do to block them off, but even then we're just going to cause a crash, and that's not something we want, not in this position, not with the potential to get McLaren their first podium in years. So we're just sort of, I think it is going to have to be a case of sort of tactically dropping out of places just to sort of secure another place for us. Now we know the gap between the car behind Hamilton and Hamilton himself is particularly large, so there isn't any problem of us being overtaken if we did have to drop down to 3rd. We say that as Rosberg gets back past us. We're not going to catch Rosberg at this point. He's got too good of a run. His tyres are too good. You know, we're having to really be delicate. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, I'll bleep those out because they're quite loud. But yes, the Rosberg's got a great run away from us there, coming out of the first few corners. There's no way we're going to catch him, unfortunately, so it looks like it could be P2, maybe even P3 if Hamilton gets a good few runs on us. We did have a look there on Rosberg, but again, it's just not going to happen, unfortunately. But we're cut to the end of lap 31 now. You know, Rosberg is really starting to fly ahead of us. Again, we lose the back end coming out of the last corner. We nearly just career into Hamilton. That was a terrible rejoining of the track there. But Hamilton gets back past us. Well, I say back past us, sorry. He gets past us and it's down into P3. So, you know, at this point, given the tyres, given the fuel, given the cars ahead of us, I had fully accepted the fact that we wasn't going to get P2 or P1. But the gap to Verstappen, as you can see there, was at 5.9 seconds. So, you know, it is what it is. P3, that is still not a bad performance. But as we come around the last few corners now, we're third place. You know, what is on the cards here is McLaren's first podium in years, and our first career podium. It's third place, guys. Right, so first podium for in a long time for McLaren there. Sorry, our first career podium, which again, really pleased with. You know, I told you Catalonia would be the track we turn it around and prove ourselves as a good driver. You know, I was so happy. The one stop really worked out for us there. Verstappen behind us also on a one stop, so credit to him as well for finishing where he did. But third place, guys, that's incredible in a McLaren. I couldn't believe it happened. So, you know, all of those points that we've gained there, you know, has bumped us up into 7th now in the Drivers' Championship. We are sat at the top of the rest. So obviously you've got the two Mercedes there, the two Ferraris, the two Red Bulls, all rather conveniently just stacked up together. And we're the best of the rest. You know, which is really good for us. You know, being McLaren as well, we have managed to turn this car around in 5 races. So God knows what we're going to be like towards the end of the season. But anyway, going back to the Constructors now, we're up into P5 now in the Constructors, just behind Williams, so effectively where McLaren were a few years ago. But that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe. Yeah, take care. Thank you very much.